Welcome everybody to round 4 of our W12 series at the Hungaroring. I'm the race director for today and I'll just be taking our drivers through their driver briefing session. We've run a few of these now, so a lot of this is going to be even more track specific stuff, but I'm sure all of our viewers are used to these as well, so good to see that coming. The normal commentary team will be taking over in just a few minutes time. Qualifying conduct is something I want to stress around here. It's a tight track, narrow track, not much room to get past each other, so I just want drivers on slow laps to be very aware of that. You need to be getting out the way as soon as possible, even if it means giving up a little bit of tyre temperature. I know you're not going to like to hear it, but that's the way it's going to be. So I'm expecting drivers to be going at near full speed as quickly as possible through turn 3, which is the fast right-hand kink in sector 1, then through turns 8, 9, 10, and 11, and that's the sort of S section at the end of a lap. I also want to mention we have the turn 6, 7 chicane. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, the only real chicane here. I just want people to be careful in there, not approaching too slowly if there's cars coming behind. There's really no way for anybody to get through there if you're alongside them, but that's sort of standard. We wouldn't expect people going slow through there. There is a runoff you can take if you're worried about holding people up as well. You won't be penalised for that. I want to mention, again, as I'm sure everybody is now used to, we have the manually driven safety car that is driven by an usual driver today. He asked me to mention, obviously, this is a very high downforce track in the Formula 1 car, which means there is quite a big gap between that, the GT3 car, and the W12 car. So just want to point out that we need to be cautious. If we deploy the safety car, you need to be careful when approaching it and just be wary that it is going to struggle through a lot of these corners compared to what you guys can do. Obviously, you'll be going full beans on the straight, so you should be able to keep your tyres up to temperature in those sections. If we do deploy a safety car, it'll be called in before turn 11, which is the sort of last corner in the S section towards the end of the lap, final corner in sector 2. So that will be where the safety car is called in, and then obviously when that happens, the leader takes control and is expected to maintain a consistent pace for the rest of the sector, for the rest of the lap until we go green. We go green when the leader goes green and accelerates. You should see that happen with the whole pack. Once the leader moves, which should give us a nice smooth start. Obviously, if we see any infractions of that, it will be investigated and penalised. Blue flag rules, something around here that need to be stressed as well. We've got a very, as we mentioned in the qualifying section, a very tight track, very narrow track, difficult to get by, and you lose a lot stuck behind another car sometimes. So if you've got blue flags, getting out of the way as soon as possible. I know it's not possible in all sections of the track, but it needs to be done at the nearest available opportunity. Heavy braking zones down into turn 1 as well, so just be wary on the brakes, especially lap 1. People are running different setups, different configurations, so just need people to be wary that you might need to be cautious on your brakes. Not too cautious, of course, but just be aware of wherever people are braking. It is your responsibility not to hit the car in front. I think that's it from me today. I just want to, of course, mention if we do have lapped cars under safety car, they'll need to be let through as well, so that shouldn't take too long under this track, because obviously these F1 cars are a lot quicker than the GT3 around here. Yeah, that's it from me today. Everything's said there. If anyone has any particular questions, feel free to drop them in the Formula Series chat, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Thank you, everybody, and I'll hand over to our commentary team.
Hello everyone, my name is Edward, and today we'll be commentating the 4th race of the anti-style W12 racing series here in Hungary. Very close to my home, Hungaroring is a 4.3 kilometer straight track in Magyarod. We've seen some interesting races in real life, and with mixed weather conditions and beautiful battles, so we know we're in for a treat. Today I'm joined by the one and only Biggles. As always, it's great to have you with me. How are you, Biggles?
Oh, great. Grand. Thank you. Very good. Sorry, just got back just in time when you called me. I heard my name and I'm like, oh, I better be running up to the commentary box pretty quickly, which I did. Yeah, good. Good to have you back there, Ed. Exciting. This is one of the driver's favorite tracks as well, too, mate. It's high speeds. It's basically Monaco without the barriers. Or is it with the barriers? They're pretty close. The fence, you get it wrong.
Yeah, I've heard it, this description a lot of times as well, but I tend to disagree with it. I don't know why people keep calling this track Monaco without the walls. Honestly, I really disagree with it. I think the track is a little bit faster, faster corners, long straights. So it's a lot of differences.
It's not a go-kart track, put it that way. Glorified go-kart track at that. Yeah, well, looking forward to, as they're getting underway a practice session, we're going to chat about the Australian Grand Prix, of course, coming up this weekend. This is coming up this weekend, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking forward to that one, mate. They've resurfaced the pit lane area with some new asphalt kind of material, increased the speed of it, changed a couple of corners, so it should be a lot better than the typical kind of boring-ish Australian Grand Prix, unfortunately, because it used to have I think about on average 15 overtakes, the second least amount of overtakes outside of we just mentioned, so it should spice things up a little bit more. Should be about, I think, about 20 kilometer-hour average speed, I think, or something. Should shave a few seconds off the overall lap time.
Yeah, but you are talking about the changes. We know that even Yas Marina has had some changes last year, and did it help racing? I tend to disagree. It wasn't an amazing race. Obviously, the race had the highlight of Max Verstappen winning the championship, but other than that, the race was pretty boring. Like, if you take the championship battle out of that race, you wouldn't classify that as one of the good races of the season, from my point of view.
Yeah,
so,
but then again, that's never really been a fun track anyway, has it?
Yeah, but again, these changes doesn't seem to do a big difference. We've seen in the past in Singapore with all those chicane changes, and again, racing did not change that much. So personally, I don't think we will have a big difference on Australia, but oh man, I really hope I'm wrong with this one.
Yeah, you're right. So at the moment, there's those gladiators out on track doing their practice sessions with the soft and medium tires. That's a new graphic that we've added here. Graphics to come. I think I have control over some of the graphics that we're testing around, so we'll see about that one a little bit later. You don't want to give Biggles too much power. I can go a little crazy with that, but we still have our producer, of course, our broadcaster / producer doing all the work behind the scenes. Zageza. So he'll be maintaining all that. G'day. How are you doing this evening, mate? Real quick to catch up on behind the scenes here of ASR.
Yeah, pretty chill. Playing with a lot of new tools that we've got access to, linking people into our overlays and Twitch streams over the network, and allowing all of our commentators and race control more control over what's seen on screen. So another feature we're testing out tonight is live penalty information, which comes directly from our race control and displayed live on stream, which is going to be really, really fantastic.
Fantastic. Yep, exactly. And over to the standings. So I'll let Ed, let you run through that for the audience at the moment.
Yeah, Alex Eguia, the champion from the first season, is still leading the championship after 3 rounds. Joan Solvali is in second place with 41 points. He was leading the driver standings, but he missed last week's race, so that put him on the wrong foot. Benjamin Ziz, I hope this time I pronounce his name well, third place with 40 points. Liam Kerr in fourth place with 39 points, and Paulo Lopez rounds up the top 5 with 26 points. So the top 5 is in 29 points. So this season we're having a much closer battle for the championship than last season.
That's good. Absolutely. That's what you want to see. Had some good wheel-to-wheel racing last week, wasn't it, mate? That kept us on edge, for sure. There's the information about our safety car that will be driven this evening, be here by Ethan. And a bit of a tricky one too. The safety cars you heard in those briefings before, it's a lot slower, the GT car, than those Formula One, so it can catch those drivers, gladiators off. And they maybe, Ethan, you need to step up the pace in that safety car and not lose it as well. You can lose a safety car, can't you? Because it's manually driven, I presume. You lose control.
Yeah, it's always great to have this type of small touches in this virtual racing. Obviously, having a manual-driven safety car, it gives that small bit of realism, even though we are obviously racing behind our computers. But yeah, it it's amazing to see that drivers from all around the world are gathering together to race on a Monday night. Well, for some people, it's the Monday morning. From Nelson, he's from the United States. I think it's 10 in the morning or something.
For where? What part?
I don't know from what part he is, but yeah, in the United States is much earlier
Yeah.
than here in Europe.
Yeah, well, it's daytime generally. Here at the moment, midday, around midday, depending on what part. East Coast, you'll be on midday. Or when I talk to whatever, if you're on Pacific time, you're a few hours behind that one. So still, it's not crazy times.
One thing that I'm noticing, and I know that our stewards have talked about it before I joined, is that our championship leader, Alex Iguia, has left the server right before we started our stream. I think Jared can confirm this. I'm not really sure what happened, but this might play an important role in the championship.
I'll be honest, I didn't see him leave. But yeah, he's currently not on track. Although he's in the pit. You can see his particular famous blue and white car there. So, but he's not in the car. So he's obviously gone and taken a break somewhere until qualifying starts in 4 minutes time.
Yeah. 4 minutes to go. Joe Taberner is in first place. Obviously, we know that he has lost the win last week, but this time I know he wants that revenge. He wants to make this one the redemption day and take that win. Again, I know Joe Taberner from our other series. He's a super fast driver, and we know that he has big chances on winning this race. I remember last season when we've raced here at the Hungaroring, we've had one of the boiling points in the championship when Alex Eguia and Mark Stevens battled for the championship. They touched. I think it was in the middle of the race. In turn 3, Alex Eguia crashed out. I think Alex Eguia recovered to about 3rd place, but anyways, that played an important role in the championship.
Just trying to sort out some technical issues at the moment from our end, not from your end. As you guys can see, it looks beautiful on the screen. It's quality. Doesn't quite look exactly the same as what we can see on our end, but it's more about what you guys can see. That's the most important thing. At trackside, aren't we, mate? We're up in the commentary box and we get to see the cars with our own very eyes as they cruise past the pit lane. Virtual world, of course.
Yeah. So we can see after the chicane, after turn 7, there is that small bit of what is it called? Is it sand? It's always being there after you have an oil spit. So you can just see these small bits of realism that iRacing has actually put in the game. And I remember,
mate, when you were a kid, Hungary's just across the border, and you used to jump across the border and then play in the sand trap. Right there, when you were a kid?
Yep, I remember.
Have you could have gone to this track, right, mate? I mean, it's only just a hop, skip, couple hour drive.
Yeah, you have just to avoid some cars, but other than that, no problem.
Is it in the Formula 1 calendar this year? I can't really remember. So
Hungaroring?
many tracks. Yeah, Hungaroring.
Yes, it is on the Formula 1 calendar. It's going to be in the summer, as always. And again, as I've said in my intro, every year we've seen an interesting race here at Hungaroring, especially last year and also 2 years ago. Obviously, rain played a big part in the race, but other than that, we've had important points in the championship. I remember in 2020, Max Verstappen, I think, crashed on the warm-up lap, or what was it? It was before the race, and then the mechanics repaired his car and he gone on to finish second, so that was one of...
Are you going to go this year? Or was you a bit too busy, time tickets and all that jazz?
Yeah, I think I'm late. I'm still keeping an eye on the tickets, but You don't get tickets anymore in the grandstand, so you can just stay on the natural section. And as I've talked to my friends, if it rains, then it's horrible to stay there because you will just get in the mud so bad. And obviously, knowing from the past, it seems like rain is a good friend of Hungaroring. So yeah, I'm not really sure yet, but I may go.
Oh, that's the track, isn't it? Where they slide down the hill in the mud.
Yeah,
That you
I
see in
think
the air.
it.
That's
Yeah.
the one where you see, and they always show you that when it's raining, people slide down the hills and stuff. I mean, I guarantee, being in an Australia track a few times, I take the trackside in tickets, the general tickets, over grandstands any day of the week. But we don't normally have a lot of rain, as you mentioned. That would be the key to me going, I don't know if I'd want to do that then, yeah, because it's mud, doesn't it?
Albert Park. I think you are talking about Albert Park, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Albert Park, it's not. There's plenty of places you could stand on the track and the corners and stuff. There's a little bit of a hill and stuff around some tricky corners. Fun, absolutely great to watch the race from there.
Yeah,
Just
I
have
don't
that
know.
umbrella, man, because it gets really hot sometimes in Australia, and that sun will burn you.
Albert Park seems like going to the park, even if even in the name. So yeah, I think it's great to stay in the natural zones. I think that's a very beautiful thing. I don't know if I'm right or not. Never been to Australia, but it seems
in
fun to
comparison to you going to the Hungaroring and just getting not getting a grandstand ticket, getting a general. I always say get a general ticket to any track if you can. A lot of the time the grandstands aren't really worth it, but because you can usually do a track walk all the way around, you just can't go into the pit lane paddock area or sort of all that sort of that stuff, or where the grandstands are. You can't generally go underneath them things, but you can usually walk around all tracks, find a nice little spot to sit and watch it. Qualifying's coming up in a second.
Qualifying started.
It started.
1 minute ago. As we are seeing, Alex Seguia, our champion and also championship leader, just going on to warm up his tires and to start his first flying lap. Let's see. I think in this one we will have a battle between Alex Seguia, Joe Taberner, and also Joan Vale. Joan Vale has been super fast this season, but again, these races that you miss as a driver, they play such a big part, because if you miss a race and your opponent wins, there are 25 points that you lose so easily, and yeah, these 25 points can play a big part at the end of the season.
Absolutely, especially because it's not a massively long season too. On board with Alex as he's making his way, just trying to see where he currently is on track at the moment. Car is 71 on the track map, as you can see, that white dot as he's approaching up into turn 5, big sweeping corner. Coming around, you're going to come up to you a couple of S-sync kinks here, 6 and 7. Good to get right, fantastic feeling as you go through there. A couple more as well. You've got 8, 9, and 10's a little bit more of a kink, and 11. So it's basically a whole bunch of S's on steroids, which is great, even better than Beckett's Mega Chapel, but not as much elevation change as you can see. A little bit of a short straight down to the final little, they call it hairpin corner, really. It's shaped like a hairpin, and that's going to 13 here. He keeps turning, doesn't it? Just feels like one of those corners that never stop. You got to get it around as quickly as possible to the left, sweep it across 14 on the power. Don't go too close out wide to the fence, and that's your lap. See what the time will be.
So that is a 1:14.0. So that's faster than Joe Tabner has been all weekend. That's 1 second faster than Victor Bolea. Oh, that's a huge gap at the top.
Yeah, it's Alex, isn't it? Being Alex is a machine. Some tracks, isn't it? Alex is just a monster. And we've seen some great qualifying performance from some of the other gladiators. When was it last week? Well, too. Who was that? Was qualified, what, half a second quicker, if I'm not mistaken? I know a week is a bit of time.
If I'm not wrong, last week Benjamin Zies won the race.
Yeah, it was Benny. Was Benny that had that super quick? It was right, because it wasn't his home track.
Yes, he was.
And he qualified half a second quicker, I think, than everybody else.
Yeah, but
yeah,
we've had a three-way battle between Zies, Eguya, and Joe Taberner. So if you missed that race, you can go check it out on our channel. It was such a beautiful battle, and one that you should rewatch if you haven't. Paulo Lopez, we are watching now, the Portuguese driver. His profile picture looks very interesting. I'm not really sure what that is, but he
Very
seems
patriotic.
a very patriotic guy.
Yeah. I can't see what it is there, but somebody holding up a Portuguese flag, so that's good. There's Tyler now, driver from the United States, number 7 car. It's very crucial if you want to kind of keep an eye on keep an eye on where those drivers are on the track, because those numbers that are on the track map are not representing the car positions, of course. It's representing where their car numbers are, because there's not 37 cars here today. But you can get an idea of following drivers that you like to follow to see where they are. And most of them are pretty well spaced out, except for up at that top turn 5. It looks like a bit of a kerfuffle going on there. That's just people getting out of everybody's way. As we've got a bunch of drivers on their flying laps. Victor's got a time in their 15s. Tyler Nelson's at 14 in the 14 club.
But the gap is still very big, 93 tenths of a second. That's huge.
It is, absolutely.
Well, not
I
93
wonder
tenths.
how this track's going to go on tyres, because I think the real F1 is a bit of a tyre chewer. Anthony puts one in 16, so we've still got a bit of time, of course, to go in qualifying. 5 minutes into it, we've got 15 or so to go. So plenty of time. Just putting they're putting their bankers in, apart from Alex putting their
Oh, there was a
flying lap
mistake.
like as if he had nothing left.
There was a mistake from Joe Tabner. He got very close to Alex Eguia and he gone wide there. Benjamin Sees goes in second place, but the gap between him and Eguia is pretty big. 78 hundredths of a second. Enrique Justa goes in second place. That was unexpected from our Spaniard driver. Only 3 tenths between him and Eguia.
I've just changed their names up there, so I've got a little bit more powers of our 30 new tools, so you can actually have their full names up there for a minute or so while we're doing the qualifying, so we can get an idea. Sometimes we only just mention their first name. Forgetting to you guys out there that you might not be able to see it sometimes, but we get used to it. They've given me too much powers there, Ed. I would be worried. We go. Some of the drivers are just pulling off to retire the cars. I don't have to take them all the way back to the pit lane. A couple of drivers you can see on flyers there. They're setting usually greens because they're setting their first lap times this evening. So anything they do is going to be an improvement from their personal best of 0.4. Alex seems to be going a little bit quicker again too, if he's improved his first sector. Joe, Victor.
Joe Taberner. I think we should be keeping an eye on the English driver because we know how fast he is and he has done a good first sector. Let's see. He's now going through the section. He has passed that chicane, that 6-7 section, which is super slow and very easy to do a mistake. In the race, it's going to be an important place, that one chicane, because it's so easy to do a mistake and go over the curbs and obviously damage your car. Joe Taberner, good second sector. Let's see. He seems to be slow to this through this corner. Let's see now. Last one. And pedal to the metal. Till the finish line. Joe Taberner. He goes 6. Only 6.
6. Yep. And what's even interesting as well too, that Alex, whilst that happened, Alex just said, I want the 13 clubs. Unless he would just go, he went even quicker. And the first man into the 13s. So still within that half a second gap, he just increased it. Well, just got it slower or faster again. Oh, bit of a slide there. And you're about to, he must have read my mind right there, because I was just about to say, most of these drivers have been getting around here pretty cleanly so far. I haven't seen a lot of spins, and bang, there it is, right on cue actually.
Yeah, not a lot of mistakes, but this was something that we've seen in the last races. Since the start of the season, we haven't seen a lot of mistakes. And in comparison to the first race that we have ever held with these cars, the amount of mistakes that we're seeing in these races is minimal. I still remember the first race on Silverstone. That was, I think, in November or December. Anyways, there were drivers crashing in every single corner, lap after lap. We've seen another incident. And now drivers just got used more to these cars and we're seeing much more clean racing.
Absolutely right. I mean, there's just asked out there. Kevin asked if we could see the drivers' numbers on stream. We can't at this point yet. I was looking to see if I can change any of that, but I can do a bit of coding, so we'll see about adding that one next week so that we can display that one as well. We'll see. Nothing's impossible. The power team here at Any Stall Racing, because we don't stall, mate.
Sorry,
we keep those engines running. Sorry.
Wojciech Kościuk has done 4 laps and all of them has been invalidated. So he now starts his 5th lap. It's incredible.
Where's the invalidation point through the S's, I guess, if it does take it a little bit too much, too
Yeah,
wide?
it's very easy to go wide, especially in that section after the chicane, you know, through those fast S's, left, right, very easy to go wide. Turn 11, that's one of the easiest points, no mistake. Also, right after the chicane in turn 7, it's easy to go wide, and Wojciech Kościuk does a
Ooh.
mistake. He locks
yeah.
up. So that's a lot of bad luck for the Polish driver.
I'm going to see if we can change this to gap at the moment. And there it is. That's the gap in your... Oh, that's not actually showing the gap properly to the actual leader's time. That's fine. Edible. Let's have a look at top speeds real quick. I got fancy tools. I want to see what they are. Oh, it's not showing it. Don't worry about it. We'll just leave that on that rule. The top speeds? Or which one? Oh, it did. It did. I'm sorry. I'm a little delayed on that one.
Because it seems that you have a lot of fun with pictures.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, I did want to see those top speeds real quick there because I didn't get a chance to look at it properly. It's a little hard for me to read up there to see what the advantages are for the downforce that anybody's setting. Actually, the DRS is enabled for them. I can't really read it properly just yet. You guys can help me out with that one. It's as highest so far, 324 for Ricky. So he's got, look at the difference there between him and Alex. So maybe setting up a little bit more downforce isn't necessarily the best thing, but still, he's currently provisionally P2, so something's working out for him.
Yep, and Ricky Usta might have found that gem in the setup to get close to the top drivers, as you have also put on screen the penalty points, I think they're called. Anyways, every time you go wide, you get 1 penalty point. And in the race, this is an important factor, because if you go wide, or obviously if you cut a corner 15 times, then you will get a penalty. I remember in the first race we've had a little bit of controversy because our winner have had about 40 penalty points, but then the penalty points weren't real. It was something that iRacing just invented, and yeah, he kept the win in the end.
And well, you're right, and Kevin, your prayers have been answered, my friend, because now I have replaced the car flag with the car number, and that's what you wanted. You got it. So we do have those goodies. Now you can get an idea where those cars are on track according to their car number. Naturally, we'll switch back through their nationalities and stuff like that a little later on, but we still have 8 minutes or so in qualifying.
One thing that I'm noticing, Beagles, Joan Sovale is in 9th place. So the driver that is second in the Drivers' Championship and the driver that has had such a great start to the season is just in 9th place right now. I'm wondering what is happening to him.
Sometimes not very good qualifying.
Wojciech Kościuk finally got a lap together and he goes straight up in 4th place.
14 club as well. That's nice. Exactly. When he got it hooked up, good right. So it goes to show his pace this evening. Everybody now setting a time on board. But obviously, did we say our driver was from where was the driver in the one I can't pronounce, the car 21?
Vietnam.
Vietnam, it was Vietnam. Okay, great. I thought that was the top of my head. Yeah, that's obviously not a clear respective time that he's done just yet, because his best is to be in 17. I'm pretty sure he can do a little bit better than that.
So, if I'm not wrong, in Vietnam right now, it's 1 in the morning.
It's got to be early. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the night for him. So, it's incredible to see him racing at such a late hour.
He might have been like, I know some of the drivers that race in like Australian leagues and things like that, even from the States, they have a bit of a snooze and get up specifically for the race and go back to bed or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because what would be your approach if you would be from Vietnam? Would you go to sleep until in the middle of the night, 12 a.m., or would you just stay awake and then go to sleep after the race?
I'm a night owl, mate. I wouldn't wake up until about noon anyway, so I'm fine. I could do it. I could pull that, no problems. But if you have work, school, and all that sort of stuff, I work from home, so I don't have any obligations there. But yeah, generally most people don't have that luxury. So yeah, they're going to probably, if you have to get up and go to work or school, then probably a good idea to have a bit of a snooze before you do that.
Oh, and talking
Coming
about
straight.
him, there was a huge crash, and there's someone else being involved. I think we've had Ngoken Nguyen, if I'm not wrong. Or no, that was Joan Sovale. That was Joan Sovale colliding with Hannes Logel. We've seen a lot of mistakes. We've seen a lot of mistakes even in real life in that last corner. It's very easy because the back of the car is losing the weight, and then you just lose the back end and you crash into the wall. We've seen Sebastian Vettel spinning there and having an amazing save in 2014 in real life. But this time,
the final corner, mate, that's just it's a tricky one, isn't it? At 14,
Yeah.
it's another one of those like semi 100, almost 180 corner, and there's two ways. You can either approach it way too quickly, and then you actually go straight into the fence, or if you're on the power and you're on the bubble and you want to get that speed as you go down the straight, your tire hits the grass out there, man, and slips it around, and you go around. So
Yep.
that's going to be in the back of those drivers' minds, because that's also a fantastic place to gain a lot of exit speed.
and especially in the rain, if you touch that curb in the rain, then you're just round. And if you are around there, you just go straight into the wall and you're out of the race. Simple.
And and Ed as well. I mean, you did the good exit now in a race condition. That's a fantastic exit out of there. Down that main straight gives you a great golden opportunity to overtake into turn one. You just see that turn one from one of the slowest corners on the track. And that is definitely one of those places you can get the job done. However, it's very important to get that fantastic exit out of 14 and obviously keep it out of the fence too.
Yeah, turn one is such a great overtaking opportunity, but the problem with this track is the fact that the two corners before it, turns 12 and 13, there's such slow corners, and with these cars, the dirt air play a huge role, and the gap between you and the car in front is getting bigger, and after you exit turn 13, the gap is so big that you cannot get close to overtaking turn one. So this is the main problem with these cars. Maybe in 2022 with these new cars, we will not see the same problem anymore.
Yeah, hopefully. Absolutely. Got information too from the chat there that Khan, the driver that we did think was from Vietnam, is actually, well, probably from Vietnam, but he's living in Switzerland. So he's Swiss now. So he's in the same time zone as most of the other gladiators here. So he doesn't get up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, he's had a bit of a spin there. They've retired back in the pit lane. Quite sure who that was. Some these improvements. Bang. There it is. There's an improvement from 1 up at a
So
P6.
there's a penalty, I think. I'm not really sure.
So he gapped the leader. I thought it was gapped.
Oh, there's another crash. There was someone around there.
There's your gap to leader. Apparently that's the gap to leader. It is the gap to leader. There it is. Good job. Good call. That's one I usually like to keep it on anyway. Interval for the race itself. Now that I have the power. See if Benny Boy can get himself up to his qualifying performance that he did the German drive. He's not on his home track now, but it's not too far away. It's a good thing about living in Europe. Everything's pretty much a short drive per se, in 3-4 hours maximum. Living in Central Europe.
So,
He's got,
Biggles,
yes, sir.
if you would have to put your money on someone, would it be Alex Seguia? Because it seems that this one is his race. Super fast, big up in qualifying. I think this might be his win.
Absolutely, yep. If you had to bet channel points that you don't have in YouTube, but if you had to bet channel points, I would probably bet it on Alex. He's out there for another run, but doesn't seem to be any improvement. But he's the only man that's like almost half a second, just under, 3/10, almost 4/10 quicker than everybody else. And everybody else you can see there, like P2, P3 are pretty close. And then there's another bit of a gap forming to P4, so that's what I have to say. Alex looks like he has this one. I mean, he's made a little bit of improvement in the second sector. See if that little bit of a drop in the first sector was enough, and there it is. So across the line won't improve, but he's certainly got the pace there. I think that was maybe a little bit of a covering lap as we're in the dying stages now, qualifying. And probably do another one if he wants to, if he needs to.
Yeah, Enrique Justa is having an incredible day. I haven't seen him that. Oh, as we're seeing a crash. Oh, because you were talking about incidents at the start of the stream. Now we've had already 4 or 5 crashes only in this qualifying session. Anyways, coming back to what I was saying, we haven't seen Enrique Eustace so up at the top of the standings so far this season, and it's always good to see different drivers up there battling. And this season, the gaps are looking as close as ever. So maybe we will see Enrique Eustace battling for the win.
Yeah.
And he goes second. Talking about him, he goes second. Close to Alex Seguia.
Even closer, that's the closest he's been, I think, at Alex territory this evening, but will it be enough? Don't think there's enough time. Alex is
there's
out
another one.
up to try to cover it. About one.
There was a car in the background there, crashing into the wall. In turn 11.
I think they were gingerly at the start, mate, and then because they started to increase and increase and increase, the pushing the limits more and more and more, that's when you're starting to see those mistakes kick in.
Yeah, and again, it's so easy to do a mistake here at Hungaroring, because you have those fast corners. 9, 10, 11, and obviously turn 3, last corner, we've talked about it. So yeah, we might be in for 3, that's always here at Hungaroring. Anyways, qualifying is finished, and I think this is our grid. Anthony Serrano is on a good lap. Enrique Justa is also on a good lap. Green, second sector, let's see. No, he goes wide. So that's it. That's it for Spaniard. Serrano improves. He goes in 12th place. Alex Seguia also started the lap, but he haven't finished it. So this has been it for our qualifying session. Alex Seguia is again in pole position. And one important thing, Alex Seguia has done 13 laps in a 20 minutes qualifying session. That's incredible.
That's a practice session, isn't it? Really, more than a qualifying session.
Yeah, I agree.
How does that chew through those tires? But you only get a certain amount of selection of tires during the event. So you get fresh tires. There it is, confirmed from our director. Yeah, all right. So you can use them up. Use them while you have them. There, those results. If you'd like to read through those qualifying, please, Ed.
So, this is our grid for the 4th race here at Hungaroring. Alex Seguia will start from pole position with Alex Seguia in 2nd place for a full Spanish first row, I think. I'm not sure what nation is Enrique Justa. Oh, he's Spanish as well. Tyler Nelson in 3rd place with Paulo Lopez in 4th place, the Portuguese drivers. Wojciech Kościuk in 5th place and Joan Sovale 6th. Hannes Schlogel will start 7th, and Benjamin Zies, the winner from last week, only in 8th place. Joe Taberner 9th, and James Dawson 10th. Victor Bolea 11th. Anthony Serrano will start in 12th place, and the last driver on the grid is the one from Vietnam, Ngoc Can Nguyen.
There is a 5-second
we are also
post-race
having the
time
safety
penalty
car
for car number 19
on the grid,
impeding during
but
qualifying
obviously
session.
he will not start the race.
Yeah, went through before there. Safety car will be called out, I think, if there's more than 3 cars involved in an incident and unsafe and all that sort of jazz, and they'll bring that safety car out. Luckily, so far this season, we haven't seen too much of that safety car, as you know, because these drivers, and that's the good thing, obviously, about iRacing and all that sort of jazz, is that you basically have a safety rendered, safety statements and all that jazz. So, you've got to kind of prove yourself you can handle some of these motor vehicles, and then to show you that can also shows you that you're a very good, competitive, honorable
I think it's because we are only 10 seconds away from race starts. We should prepare for that. Alex Seguia will be on the right of your small screens, and Enrique Justa will be on the left. So 2 Spaniards at the top as we're waiting for the lights. The lights are out. We are having 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And away we go. This is a good start from Alex Seguia. An absolutely horrible start there from Enrique Justa, who lost a lot of positions. I think he stole off the grid. Wojciech Kościuk got up in 2nd place. Tyler Nelson also up in 3rd place, as he's side by side with Joan Sovale. As we're now going through turn 3. That is Hannes Schlogel up in 6th place. Tyler Nelson also finally overtook Joan Sovale. He's in third place. Let's see. Joan Sovale wants the position back, but it's impossible to overtake here up the hill. We've seen that also in real life between Hamilton and Alonso. And we're already seeing the first penalty points being given to Tyler Nelson and also James Dawson. Someone has been wide there. I think that's Dawson going very wide there. And Gökhan Nguyen shows again that he's a great starter. He's up in 10th place, winning 3 places off the grid. Anyways, because Enrique Justa had a horrible start. He's down in 8th place, in 9th place. He lost 8 positions.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much ego on the loud pedal, just lost at the rear end there, and you know, just stuck there as the wheels are spinning. That hurts. That happens to a lot of drivers sometimes. It's all about that clutch release point, isn't it? And see,
someone crashed. Someone crashed. That's
final turn as well. We were talking about that earlier. We might have a replay of that from our race director in a second. Hasn't called that a safety car.
Is that Serrano? I think that's Anthony Serrano. Has crashed.
Here it is right now. Replay coming up. So that was actually before the final corner, wasn't it? It looks like it. Maybe at 13.
Yeah, this was lap 1. There was an incident between Dawson and Lopez, I think. And also Serrano was the car that has been wide there. We've seen in the background. So no replay of the turn 13, lap 1. Benjamin Zies up in 5th place. He's won 3 places off the grid. Good start by the German driver. But the gap between Alex Eguia and Wojciech Kościuk is about 2 seconds. So Alex Eguia is winning about 1 second per lap. As in Gökhan Nguyen, something happened to the Vietnamese driver because he has lost 2 positions in one corner. I'm wondering what happened to him.
Swiss driver, I think now. He's dropping, yeah. A little bit like a Bitcoin exchange right now, but still in this race. Any pit stops from anybody? No, not yet. Everybody's still continuing around that. Alex is pulling a little bit of that gap away. But it's pretty close there between P3, Tyler there. Everybody else that's gained a lot of positions too from the start of this race. So they're starting to form that little DRS train soon. And keep an eye on that final corner, of course, and then down the main straight where you get those overtakes into turn 1. That's going to be the key.
Yeah, talking about the last corner, Biggers, I'm not sure if you have kept an eye on the live timing, but every time these guys are going through the last sector, I'm always thinking off track, off track, off track, off track. For every single driver, it's incredible.
Yeah, they're pushing their limits, aren't they, off the track limits.
Something happened to Paulo Lopez. He's also losing a lot of positions.
A note coming from race control.
Oh, so he crashed. Let's see what happened to the Portuguese driver. He's had an absolute best start. Oh, did he lose it on his own? Oh no, he tried to overtake and yeah. Very bad race for Paulo Lopez. Sad for him. He started 4th and he's now in the 3rd place. When you lose concentration, these things happen.
Yeah, it does, but at least it's early days. And once again, there's all those off-track excursions. I think going to turn 1 is an overtake currently at the moment, and that's
Joe
into the
Taberner.
back. Yeah, it's Joe.
Joe Taberner on Victor Bolea. The English driver is trying to recover the positions that he has lost in qualifying because that wasn't a characteristic qualifying session for our Englishman. He's in 7th place right now after starting 9th. So the gap between Eguia and Kościuk is 2.3 seconds and is increasing. So Alex Eguia is having the race of his career, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Let's just hope that nothing will happen to him.
Where are we currently at the moment? Lap, can't tell. Once again, it's doing that timer thing again, but they do have a certain amount of laps.
Lap 4.
We're on board Victor. What's your Victor Vector? Green car, that's good. Green means go. My favourite colour for the Spaniard. Car number 18. I'll pull up those car numbers as well because there's no point in showing those tyres just yet until we get those pit stops. As you can see, the majority of the field are on the softs. Only 2 of those Gladiators out there on the mediums.
Yeah, but Anthony Serrano has already boxed, so I think he will go with those medium tires till of the race. We've seen there Taberner locking up the tires, and we can see that he is pushing and he's gaining. He's closing up to Schlegel. He's in the DRS zone to the Austrian driver. Joan Valem up in 4th place. We were talking about him, and I remember saying that he's had a bad qualifying session. Well, he's making up for it. It's now in 4th place, but Benjamin Zis is very close.
This is good to see. Good racing. You're
Yeah.
right. There's two drivers that have had that pits. Anthony's in the pit lane, and James is in the pit lane right now.
It's always great to see this type of battle, especially here in Hungaroring, as we're seeing an information.
That's the pit lane time information. But up there, you're talking about the race control messages. I can't read it. Unfortunately, I have to look at the stream to come up. Car number 88. 5-second post-race penalty for that collision.
Driver 88, that's Paulo Lopez. The Portuguese driver will have a 5 seconds post-race penalty. Well, what starts bad, it goes even worse. You know the saying, when it rains it pours. As we're seeing also Enrique Justa going into the pit lane, so that's an interesting tactic. Going into the pit lane right now, Justa will box for fresh tires, and when he will go out, he will have clean air. And we've seen in qualifying he has the pace. He just needs to find that clean air in order to, be able to get up the pace. Let's see Benjamin Ziz now in 5th place. He's chasing down François Vale, who's chasing down as well Tyler Nelson. Will he try through this corner? It's not usual to see a move here in turn 10. Turn 11, my bad. 5
Yeah,
car
what if we could get
bill.
the track map up there as well? I mean, that sometimes would be pretty cool to see where they're starting to spread out currently at the moment on the track. There's the track map. Right on, cool. Thank you very much. As you can see, those gaps are forming because of some of those pit stops. Look where Alex is on that track map. Car 71. I'll pull up the
Oh, you're going on the outside. Oh, there's a crash! Oh,
wow.
huge crash there. Oh, such a shame from Joe Taberner. He couldn't avoid that. And João Vale have been involved in this crash. This is going to be very important for the championship. Straight to the pit lane goes Vale. Straight to the pit lane goes Taberner as well. Let's see what happened. I think João Vale has been attacked on the inside by Benjamin Ziz, or he tried to go around the outside. No, he tried to go around the outside, and on the brakes.
Oh, yeah. That, I mean, he outbraked himself. He just he avoided it to go straight on, so he didn't have to turn into anybody. And unfortunately, because his speed when he came back on track, he spun, and everybody else is in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's going all the way around, at least the 7 or 8 flip. Don't think it's full safety car because just the 2 cars were involved.
I don't
And
think
once
so,
it
but
just
let's
looks like
see.
a racing incident there, didn't it? Just like he didn't try to come back on the track. He just
Oh,
lost it.
Is the safety car out?
It is. Is it? No, it's not actually.
No.
Yeah. All right. So there it is. So once again, our Spanish driver Alex gets to keep that gap that he had there, which is maybe 2 to 3 seconds. He's slowly been able to pull a little bit each time. To the 88 car.
So this incident put Benjamin Ziz in a great position because he's up in 4th place, and he's now close to Tyler Nelson. Tyler Nelson looks pretty vulnerable at this point of the race. He was being attacked by João Vale, and now Benjamin Ziz is close to him. I was reading the information which says that it has been a racing incident. Well, that was the only right decision in that case.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, once again, it didn't look like anything deliberate. I mean, you see cars come back on track, and they shouldn't have come back on track and caused it, fair enough. But in that case, he just lost it. the rear and the tires were just a little bit cooked, hit the marbles. And yeah, it's again, it's unfortunate victims for anybody behind. Cool racing, as Michael Massey would say, called race. See Paulo.
Yeah, Paulo Lopez now.
Yeah, very,
Paulo
very
Lopez
happy to be a
close to
Portuguese
the
driver.
DRS.
Man. Here we go.
Will he send on down the inside? No, he just stays behind Nguyen. Well, he knows he has a 5 seconds time penalty, so he doesn't want to get involved in any more incidents. James Dawson overtook Joan Sovale, who is still in the pit lane. So that's a shame for,
Yeah, Joe's jumped in now.
Colombian driver.
One's jumped in. I'll pull the
Joe
pit lane
Taberner is
information
out.
up.
Joe Taberner is out of the
Oh.
race, I think.
Oh no, they're out of the pit lane, aren't they?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. There's the pit lane times up there on the right-hand side of your screen.
Benjamin Ziz is close, and after turn 13, when they will get on the straight line, he will have a good shot in order to overtake. Let's see, Benjamin Ziz now, turn 13, he's close, and Taylor Nelson has been a little bit wide through there. Let's see now with DRS, can Benjamin Zayas get on that podium place? He has a good chance. Tyler moves on the inside, Benjamin on the outside, but that's a great move around the outside. And the German driver is up into the podium places. But the gap between him and Alex is about 5.5 seconds. So that's a long way to go, but it's not done.
Yeah, Benny, remember, can't get it done. The race winner from last week. If anybody can do it, Benjamin can. Getting, as I said, 5 positions, the 37 car now. And you can see on that track map, still.
Oh, that's a mistake. That's a huge mistake from Tyler Nelson. He has been sent flying by that curb and is now down in 5th place. Did that cause damage? I'm not really sure. Jared, does crashing with the curb cause damage?
Jared,
Yeah,
did you
it
hear
can
that
do.
one?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, it can do. It depends how hard you hit it. Woo, we went a bit squirrely then. That was interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how sensitive these cars are to the curbs, but definitely if you hit one hard enough and then hit the floor again hard enough, it'll cause damage, especially if you do it multiple times. I know, especially in the GT3 cars, they're modeled pretty accurately to hitting bumps and curbs. And I remember one time last year where we were racing the 24-hour Le Mans, and yeah, our car hit a sausage curb pretty hard, and decided a couple of laps later it would blow its engine because oil temperature went through the roof as we had clearly damaged something on that curb.
Those curbs, they're on report. Can we put them on report, please, race control? The damn curbs keep hitting the cars. What did the car do to the curb?
Yeah, talking about the curb and the damage, I'm sure that Nelson has some sort of damage because we've seen him wide in at least 3 corners, and the back of the car is sliding from left to right in the corners. So I'm wondering what's happening to him. Anyways, Paulo Lopez is about to get back another position as he's close to the Vietnamese driver in Can Nguyen.
So there's the gap to leader at the moment there. The 4.5 seconds down the road there. If Alex has the advantage, and you can see it goes all the way down to about 39 seconds to Enrique. Currently running P9. Then you've got a couple of the other gladiators that are a couple of laps or so down because they've taken their pit stops already. Still all the other drivers up into that P8 position, or not. So Enrique, and looking not too bad, I'd have to say. 39 seconds and change down the road there after taking a pit stop isn't too bad. You can see a 4.3 second pit stop, so that was super quick. He's done his mandatory. He can move on. Get up the road. Everybody else has to take a pit stop. 22 seconds or so is about your pit stop time overall. I think that's showing you 4.3 isn't the actual pit stop time in the box. The overall time you lose going in and out.
Yeah. Alex Eguia, 1:16.58 last lap. Wojciech Kościuk, 1:16.68. So Alex's last lap has been faster than Wojciech's best lap. Alex Guerra is winning about 6 tenths every single lap. So the gap is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes by. Alex Guerra super fast as always. Another 2 tenths won last lap. As for seeing Joe Taberner in the replay, did he spun again? No, he's just gonna leave it right and straight into the wall. I think
He's
he just
back
lost
in.
concentration.
Yeah, so there he is. So Hans is making a pit stop as well. One back into the pits. That's interesting. Let's have a look at those pit times anyway and see what's going on there. This is the pit stop time, obviously, now that's starting to occur in this race. Let me get that over and done with. Tyres might start off. Speaking of tyres, I should pull that up and find out what's going on. Those.
Tyler
Obviously, the
Nelson.
softs go to the mediums. Go ahead.
Tyler Nelson is about to lose another place. He started third and he looked like he was on for a great race, but his race pace is not as close as the actual qualifying pace, which is not a great thing. But Victor Bolea, you were talking about the green car, and the green car is always a good thing. Let's see if he's going to be a good thing on this straight line. He will have DRS, but he's a little bit far away as Benjamin Ziz goes in the pit lane as he's doing the undercut on Alex Eguia. Now Bolea goes on his side, very close there. Tyler goes defensive and keeps the position. He will have the inside through this corner. Can Victor get on the outside? No, he can't. So the bell for the third place stays as it is with Tyler Nelson in third place. Hard to overtake through here, and Victor Bolea doesn't take any risks. He stays back for now.
See when I mute myself with Victor. Gaining 7 places there. And we are to mention the Swiss driver, came from Vietnam, the Vietnamese nationality, I think, living in Switzerland. 8 positions gained still, but he's last of the pit stoppers, the top 5, still yet to box. As you can see, they're all on
But
soft
he's on the
tyres.
mediums.
He's on the mediums, exactly. So he's got a tire to go to the end because he started on them. So he's going to switch over to the softs and that alternative strategy. As here we go. So the 88 car comes in.
She's in the pit lane. Let's see if the undercut has worked for this. We can see the cars on the track map as Porsche is starting to move. No, Benjamin Ziz looks like he's too far away. Let's see, Nguyen gets him in third place. Voschak is out of the pit lane and he's ahead of Benjamin Ziz by a long way. 3.5 seconds, so the gap is pretty big as Enrique Justa goes past Victor Bolea. Tyler Nelson up in second place. And one driver that we should be keeping an eye on, Ngo Can Nguyen, is in third place after starting dead last. He is on a podium place with those medium tires. So the Vietnamese driver is doing the race of his life. As Alex Eguia is in the pit lane, and Ngo Can Nguyen might get up to lead this race. Let's just see.
Keep an eye on the pit lane time there for Alex to get it nice in and out pretty quickly. That's at about 22 seconds.
I think he will. Because Ngok is pretty
pit lane time, not
far
pit
away.
Time. There it is. I hit the right one. There it is. There we go.
Tyler is in the pit lane as well. Behind him, Alex Eguia warms up his tires by doing a burnout. And Alex Eguia just gets out in first place. But Ngo Can Nguyen is in second place after starting last. This is incredible. As Tyler Nelson loses 2 positions, he's in 5th place. Benjamin Ziz 3 places. He's back in 6th place, Tyler Nelson. Benjamin Ziz up in 3rd. Oh, and he crashed! And he crashed!
Oh, no.
Ngo Can Nguyen! No!
Oh, that happened last race too, didn't it? He was doing so well into the at least it deep into the race and made a little bit of an error. Now he's got to go all the way back to the pit lane with a damaged front wing, no front wing. You got to need that thing around here in this track. That's unfortunate for him. He did have to make a pit stop. Now his pit stop's going to be a pretty long time. I'll pull up that information too to see. Unfortunately, just add a bit of salt into the wounds as to how much pit time it's actually going to cost him.
Yeah, he was doing such a great race. This is so not right. Yeah, Johnson Valley is not. Yeah, you cannot blame Mikey for this one.
That means now everybody's on the mediums. Well, unless he's going to switch over to the softs actually.
Yeah, sorry, because Johnson Valley is back in the pit lane. So the driver that is battling with Alex for the championship is in the pit lane for the second time this race. He's back in 11th place. I'm wondering what happened. But anyways, he's 7 laps down to the leader. 8 laps now down to the leader. So I'm wondering what happened. What is happening to the Colombian driver?
That's a good question. Perhaps we'll just tune into his pit lane team boss and find out what's going on that one. Down to you. No, we don't have the unfortunately. A good battle forming right now on track, you can see.
Tyler Nelson, he wants that position back. He lost 3 places after the pit lane. Let's see if he can recover these and get back to a podium place. We're now going through turns 6 and 7, this low chicane, and after this we have these fast corners, very easy to get an off track, and we know that these off tracks can cause a penalty. Tyler Nelson close. He will have to wait up until the start finish straight in order to try any moves. Let's see. Someone wrote in the chat, so unfortunate for Khan. Yep, I completely agree. He was doing an amazing race. Now Taylor Nelson will have DRS slipstream. Can he do a move? Victor goes defensive on the inside, and oh, that was so close for a spin for Tyler Nelson, but he gets the car back, he gets the grip back, and he will move around the outside in turn 2. Can Tyler Nelson do the move? No, he can't, because he goes very deep into that corner. Oh, but he keeps the inside in turn 3. Side by side battle. Will they keep side by side in turn 4? Tyler Nelson, they are still side by side, so it's an amazing battle, and Tyler Nelson finally gets that 5th place. Now 7 seconds up until Enrique Justa. That's a pretty big gap, but we need to remember that Enrique Justa is on all the medium tires, so Tyler now has the tire advantage.
Absolutely. Got it done. There's the trying to see the laps of when they boxed, as you can see right there, how many laps they've done on these tires right now. Tyler says making up for that poor start, unfortunately, wasn't it, that he had when he bogged down there and lost a lot of those places. But now got his head down, pedal to the metal, and climbing his way back up through the field.
Alex Aguilar, 11 seconds to Benjamin. That's a huge gap. Wojciech Kościuk is down in 8th place. What happened to him? I think Jared has the information. Our Ted. As they're still going side by side, Eagles. I think they touched there, because Victor Bolea gone on the inside. Taylor Nelson wanted to keep the place, and they have touched there. Will they go side by side again through here? Oh, it's so hard to go wheel-to-wheel racing through turn 4, because it's such a fast left-hander, and it's very easy to collide there. As Victor Bolea gives the place back, so Taylor Nelson has gone from... Oh! That was a brake check. Taylor Nelson has gone from the one that had to attack to the one that had to defend.
Got to go for it here. Good racing. That's what you want to see.
Will he try to go around the outside through here? Oh, he does! He does. This is an unusual place for a move. But, yeah. Hard to move. He's still looking for the inside, even in this last corner. This is just ruining his run on the start-finish straight. Let's see how Clarice will go on the inside or on the outside. He goes for the outside. Let's see now the switchback. Yes, but oh, he crashes. He crashed out. Oh, this was so unfortunate for Tyler Nelson. He was about to make the move as he crashed out, and his front wing is off, his rear wing is off, and this is a race ruined for our American driver who was doing so well.
Oh, he's got no rear wing as well, so that's a lot of time to spend to fix that car. A lot.
Yeah, it takes over.
Yeah. It's just a little bit too much on the loud pedal. Car did not cooperate too much, even though I think he had the better tyre too, didn't he, in that case? But it's interesting. Enrique is the one with the best tyres currently at the moment. Oh, sorry, the oldest tyres. He's still running on the boxed on lap 5. Currently running in P4. I don't want to bring that one home. But he's got a bit of a gap to Victor down the road, so it might be okay to hold him off. Alex is probably wondering, is there racing going on behind me? 12 seconds, 13 up the road now, almost.
Yeah, as I've said, I think this was one of the best races of his career. If not, for sure, this was one of the best races that Alex Aguirre has done since we started this series. And talking about that, we're seeing 4 retirements. I think Taberner, Ovale, Dawson, and Serrano are all out of the race, if I'm not wrong. And Tyler Nelson might be our 5th retirement of the day, Jared. Jared, down to you.
He might be muted again.
It certainly looks like he's gotten out of the car. So I don't think he'll be rejoining us, unfortunately.
I could understand that because of that amount of damage to fix is a lot. Absolutely a lot. You got to remember it's a rear wing and front wing. The front wing's a little bit more easy to fix than those rear wings. They are a lot. We'll see anyway with the pit time.
Gok Nguyen is back in 8th place. So who knows? Maybe this guy will get into the top 5 with a little bit of luck. You never know. Let's see. But talking about top 5, Victor Bolea is the last one here, 5th place. Alex Aguirre, 1st, Benjamin Zies, the German driver, 2nd, and Hannes Schlogel in 3rd place. I'm not really sure if Hannes Schlogel has ever took a podium in this series. So we might see something happening for the first time, but he needs to defend from Enrique Justa, who is coming very fast, 4/10 quicker in the last lap for Justa. And Enrique Justa right now is the fastest car on track. Him and Nguyen are the 2 fastest drivers, actually.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's the current lap times from the previous laps, the last lap times, as you can get an idea of what sort of times that they're pacing in now, punching in.
Yep, Hannes Schlogel, Enrique Justa, and Ngokan Nguyen, the fastest drivers. Right now, Alex Aguirre is not doing amazing laps, 117.3, but well, obviously with that big of a gap, I really don't think that he cares too much about the lap times. Hannes Schlogel, 116.5, he's pretty fast as well, and he's not that far off Benjamin Zies. This is another place that we should be keeping an eye on. And Enrique Justa is also faster. So to the end of the race, we might see a 3-way battle for the 3rd place between Schlogel, Justa, and Bolea. Between these Schlogel and Justa, my bad.
Yes,
Bolea
they're the drivers in the 16 clubs. A lot of them, some of them are in the 16s for the last lap, some in the 17s. Once again, Alex doesn't worry too much at this point. I'm sure he can step it up if he needs to.
I think something happened to Nguyen because he has done last lap 126.8, so maybe a spin or something. He lost a lot of time the last lap.
Yeah, he's currently really running last as Tyler has retired from the session. Just pit lane of at least 2 minutes plus. That's just a couple of laps almost that he's had a pit lane for. To be expected on that one. But exactly, so Khan is, didn't do a very good lap. His last lap's now 17 flat, so, but before that, not very good. 15 coming in for Benjamin now. So Benny's got the call up, mate. He's stepped it up. Look at that. 15. He's got the fastest lap on the last lap.
He felt the pressure. He started feeling the pressure from Hans Logel, and he just wanted to assure that he will finish second in this race. Tyler Nelson is still in the race. He has gone out of the pit lane, and he is racing now in 9th place, as we're seeing now the American driver.
We might be going for that fastest lap. Why not give it a shot? I mean, you're in the top 10. See if you can steal that one away on fresh rubber. Depending on how much damage.
I don't think that you can repair the entire car in the pit lane, but I might be wrong.
Check that with our race director there, Gerald. I mean, our producer.
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Yep.
Okay.
Each race, everybody gets a fast repair, which means it's instantaneous repair. However, that doesn't count tyre changes. Once that's used, obviously then it takes full time to repair the car, which is why Tyler will have had, what was his last pit stop? Yeah, 2 minutes 40 in the pit lane. So yeah, that explains how long he was in there for.
Okay, so can you also repair suspension and all of these things?
Yeah, everything, literally everything. In rare occasions, I've never seen it in these cars, but in rare occasions you can completely total the car, and your pit crew will basically say that the car's completely totaled, and you can't continue. But I've never seen that in one of our races. Generally, that happens if you do something to damage the gearbox, so collide with the wall with a rear wheel or something like that. But yeah, everything else is absolutely repairable. You may find that steering damage isn't 100% fixable sometimes. So if your wheels are knocked out of alignment, you might find that they, even though they get better, they won't be absolutely perfect.
Okay, so the drivers that are retired have just got angry and said, "Mate, I don't want to race anymore."
Fair enough. Yeah. But again, to me, it's like, it's a bit of experience, isn't it? I mean, you said, look, okay, I'm going to be racing Anti-Stall Racing for the F1 series here at Race 4. I've allocated my hour and a half to 2 hour time really to do the racing. Might as well just put some practice anyway, right? Even if you're not, if you're at the back of the field, it's still the time. If you weren't at the back of the field, if you're, say, running second or third, you'd still be racing, you'd still be putting everything in. I'd say still continue if you're, and treat it basically as a nice practice session to see if you can get yourself a little bit more improvement, because time is crucial, isn't it? You know, have all the time in the world. But you already did allocate your time slot for some racing today, so I'd say just put in some more practice laps.
Especially if you are like Francois Valle or Joe Taberner, you are expecting to be at the top every single race. And obviously when a crash happens, you get angry and you just want to go and watch some Netflix or whatever they are doing.
Drive to survive.
I don't know what's the clock in Colombia.
Panama? Or you're talking about Colombia isn't Colombian driver? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's the same. Oh, no, and they're a little, depending on what part of Panama, Colombia
so
is
that's 14.
That's could be
2
an hour.
p.m.
Should be about an hour ahead of Eastern Standard Time in the US. So, yeah, you're right. About.
Yeah, I think he's going to, to eat something. It's a good time to eat in that period. So, yeah, obviously. Not bad for him. As
get some empanadas, my friend. Empanadas.
What is that?
Empanadas. It's like a bit of pastry. You can get. You can have chicken or beef, or curry, all sorts of stuff like inside, baked inside a pastry kind of thing. Pasteados they have as well. I'm not sure if it's a famous Colombian dish, but it's very popular in Panama. I'd imagine it's probably still popular in Colombia. Anyways, the racing is racing, and I still don't get an idea what lap we're on.
So we are lap 27 out of 34. So we have 7.5 laps to go to the end of the race. And we are starting to get a three-way battle for that third place that we were talking about. For that second place, actually, this Schlogel and Justa are all battling for that spot. Hannes Schlogel is also doing the race of his life, looks like. up in third place. And this might be his best result of the series so far.
That would be brilliant for him. As he gapped the leader as well, as you can see in the very right-hand column. So it's about a minute down, almost to the driver currently sitting in P5.
Victor
But
Bolle
is
is a
the- yeah.
long way. The Spanish driver is a long way behind Enrique Justa, so he's out of attacking range. 21 seconds, that's a pit stop. Paulo Lopez is closer to Victor Bolle, if we're about to talk about those two. Paulo Lopez is in the DRS range to the Spaniard, so we might see some changes even here for 5th place.
Be keen to know on their lap times as well too that they're doing for their last lap. See if we could do something about Victor. Now Victor's gained, as you can see there, 6 positions.
He will
Almost
stay
dropped
close.
2.
Enrique Justa will have DRS because
Needs it.
he's
That's all mighty and powerful around here. But yeah, exactly. That's going to help him. It's currently P4 there, and Hun's just up the road. A nice close battle. Time is starting to run out a little bit, but the tyres are the key on that one, isn't it? Just have a look at when they took their pit lap. And that's the thing, isn't it? Because Enrique, even though he's pushing, he took his tyres lap 5. So they're quite old. Don't tell him that, because I think he's had no problems in managing those tyres currently at the moment.
Will Enrique Justa try and move in turn 1? We will see. But look how big the gap between Justa and Bolle is. You can see on the minimap, car number 5 is Victor Bolle, is actually Enrique Justa, and car number 18, that's Victor Bolle, and the gap is just huge. They are just finishing now third sector. As Enrique Justa
Speaking of
had
which, I
DRS.
will throw that up there for you as well too, the car numbers, so you can confirm that one with the track map. God, they gave me all these goodies, mate. Playing around with it. I love statistics. That's why I have 5 monitors, so I can have all this jazz up. But you guys don't have it out there watching it, but I do. Enrique, still, I call him Enrique. I'm not sure. Call it Enrique. I'm sure that's probably better
I
than
think
I'm
it's
pronouncing
Enrique.
it.
Yeah, if he gets on the podium, we might have another driver to ask about his name. But let's see if he will be able to get on the podium. He needs to get past the Spanish driver in order to get in the top 3. We know that Enrique Justa can do amazing moves. He's had a very bad start and he recovered a lot of places throughout this race. So let's see. Hannes Schlager shouldn't be a big problem for him, but let's see. Now DRS is slipstream, and the run to turn 1 is a pretty long one, but again he's too far away to think about it. He will not try any move in turn 1, but in turn 2 he is close, Enrique Justa, but he gets a bad exit, so this puts him on the wrong foot.
3 laps remaining, I believe we have. So if you can go on board, if you do mind there for Enrique, just to see how it looks in the dirty air, trying to make anything you can right now. The dying stages of the race. Paulo's also putting a bit of pressure there behind that P5 and P6.
Oh, he
two
was
battles
too
forming.
on the grass. Enrique Justa was 2 years on the grass, very close to spin there, but he saved it. Oh, he spin!
Oh, there it is. Commentators, casting curse coming there thick and fast. There's Ed got him. Ed got ya. Wasn't me, mate. It was Ed. It was all Ed.
Such a shame, such a
Well,
shame.
here's the other battle there. Yeah, it is. So, well, at least for the likes of Paulo, he'll get a little bit of screen time there because there was 2 battles at the same time. We can only show 1. And
Yeah,
it's
but
very unfortunate. But he still lives to see another day. Just forget about that podium at this point.
Enrique Justa has had so much bad luck in this race. You know, he started second, he got a bad start, he got down in 9th place, he's done the undercut, he got back up in 4th place. He tried over the Hannes Schlogel and then he spun again. So yeah, a lot of bad luck for him. That's Paulo Lopez not down.
Although the 88 car can do anything about it, you can see them on the track map. They're coming around the final couple of corners now. This is where you're going to get your good exit there. If you're the Portuguese driver, get on the power, go as wide as you can, don't go too wide as you know. Now down the main straight, the DRS will open. How far back is he? Probably too far to do anything about turn 1, which is breaking point coming up right now. But he's got to get as close as he possibly can, following through those tricky S's. What do we come on? Go through 2s. Tricky S's obviously are in the second sector. This is just a matter of a following game, but gaining as much as you can as you climb up the hill. I love this little kink coming up for turn 4. It's a flying corner, and you can definitely get this one wrong and right, and they both did. Spot the apex a little bit, get a little bit of a front wing on it. Watch this high chicane here to the right. That one will send you on a fence any day of the week. Now, the crazy S's, the fun S's as well. And this is where you can lose a little bit of time. You can see it's hard to follow a car in dirty air because you're really using that car as your racing line as well, even though you've got to try to put that out of your head. They make a little bit of a mistake, it throws you off. You only have one commitment to turn into when you've got S's. Look at that. Got good power out of there. Now this is crucial. Don't try anything crazy just yet. Follow them through the hairpin of turn 13. And look at the different racing lines that they're taking. Both of them actually gained and lost on this one. Now the all-important final corner, you want to follow him up as quickly as possible. He got a far better exit this time around. This is an opportunity right now to DRS to take an overtake on the last lap. This is it.
He's done. Paulo Lopez gets him on the outside. Can Victor Bolea? We know that Victor Bolea has amazing defensive skills because he has defended against Tyler Nelson long time. Will he go around the outside? Yes, he tries to do that, but he's a little bit too deep in order to try that. He's still keeping on the inside. They're going wheel to wheel and through this corner because we've talked about it. It's such an easy corner to get it wrong, and he doesn't get it wrong. As Tyler Nelson gets the fast lap of the race. Let's see, this is the last chance for Victor Bolea. And he just backs out. He's not sending one down the inside.
It's going to be very difficult for him to try to come back, isn't it, on the last lap because you need that DRS, but the racing line is about 1/3 of the way.
I think Alex
has
finished the race.
Alex is probably going to finish the race in a second. Yeah, for sure. Alex way up the road. You see on the track map there, Alex is currently going through those S's. So we've got to keep an idea in the turn 1 right now. Nothing's happening there.
One more lap to go, I think, Eagles. One more lap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is an opportunity, I guess, to fight back one.
Yeah, but he's too far. He's too far away. He's too far away. 5/10, 4/10. He is having DRS. He is having slipstream, but he needs to really be very brave on the brakes in order to do the move. He's too far away. I think this has been it for these two, and for Victor Bolea, who will just have to settle in 6th place. Tyler Nelson has set the fastest lap of the race, and then he has just gone straight into the pit lane.
Good on him, but at least of all that damage, Tyler says, I'm taking the fastest lap.
Oh no!
Alex
Seguya gets it, as he also gets the race win. Alex Seguya in dominant manner. He just wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Benjamin Zies second and Hannes Schlogel in 3rd place. Enrique Justa will finish 4th, but I'm sure he will be angry with himself because he was so close to get that 3rd place. These two drivers have not yet finished the battle because Victor Bolea is close, but it's impossible to overtake through these corners. Well, because Tyler Nelson has been in the pit lane, has changed the tires, and he has gone back out. Let's see. He still has the lap complete. Might get that.
He could go for it. Exactly. Yeah. He puts some fresh boots on. Why not? Give it a shot.
Gökhan Nguyen finishes in 8th place. He was at one point in 2nd place. He has crashed, but overall has done an amazing race. So congratulations to our Vietnamese driver. The only one that has to finish the race is Tyler Nelson with those fresh tires. So let's see, is he on the fastest lap? now going through turns 12 and then 13. Let's see, what is his lap going to be? Tyler Nelson. It's a 1:37.66. So not enough for the fastest lap. And this has been it for the race in at the Hungaroring. Alex Eguia wins with Benjamin Ziz in second place. Hannes Schlogel third for his first podium as far as I'm concerned. Enrique Justa fourth with Paulo Lopez in fifth place. Victor Bolas sixth. Wojciech Korczuk seventh. And Gökhan Nguyen eighth. And Tyler Nelson in ninth place. Joe Taberner 10th. I'm not really sure if he will get a point because he haven't finished the race. And outside the top 10 we have Jean Sauvale, James Olson and Anthony Serrano. All of them have retired.
Big switchy round, isn't it, mate? We'll probably go to a little bit of a break there before we go to interviews. But yeah, we have some of the big guns there. One, P2 in the championship, not finishing the race, and as well as Liam here today. Liam Kerr is fourth. The championship. So big day there for Benjamin, and an even bigger day, of course, for Alex to increase that lead.
I'm not really sure if you will have me introduced. I think Gerard knows this better. Okay, so we are back with the top two drivers, Alex Eguia and Benjamin Ziz, that are here joining us for the interview. I want to start with Alex Eguia, who has won again in the W12 series. Alex, congratulations for the win and talk us through your race.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, finally my first victory this season. I think I've been second every race, but this one. So yeah, finally P1. A comfortable race, to be honest. I had quite a quick setup, and I wanted to be alone, to be honest, because being behind a car or fighting with another car, I said, could you will lose a lot of time. So yeah, it was the perfect race for me. All alone, just being my own enemy. and yeah, it went very well.
It looked very dominant and very easy from our perspective. Was that this easy as we have thought?
It's easier when you're alone. That's true, because you don't have to fight with another guys, and you can maintain your own pace the whole race. But yeah, the setup is every setup that is quick is also very very nervous, and I think I had control of the car, but it was easy to lose it in some places, in some curves. I think it's turn 4, the one that goes to the left after the uphill. But yeah, doing my pace is like when you practice the car, and I think I have to overtake just 2 back markers. That was very easy, and yeah, it's I would have said that it's easy for me, but it's this kind of car requires a lot of time practicing it, and it's our second season with it, and yeah, that was the race.
Okay, I see. And one last question for me. I always wondered, when someone is leading the race by such a huge margin, do you ever get bored? Like, you are leading, and you see the car behind losing time. Don't you get bored?
Yeah, that's why I say that your own head, my head was my own enemy, because you are fighting with yourself not to get bored, and maybe find another 10th, maybe do a quick lap, fast lap, and you have to find anything to not get bored, and yeah, you have to be in those kind of situations. I watched a lot of races being alone in first place and having a span or something like that. And yeah, you have to make your brain work in a different way to not get bored.
Yep, congratulations again from me. I will now leave you to Bigas. Bigas, do you have any questions?
You pretty much asked the same questions I was going to ask, because once again, it's a lonely race there for Alex, but it's man versus machine in that case, because he's leading the race and he's got everything to lose there and everything to gain, with nobody really challenging around him. And Alex, yeah, once again, we didn't get the camera on you very often, mate, because there wasn't a lot of action. But as you said, that turn 4, that climb uphill, that is definitely a one that can catch people off guard, especially because you're also a driver that pushes. Those lap times you were doing were not like 18s and things like that. You were hovering around 16s and sometimes 17s towards the end of the race. You also took a very late pit stop there as well. I guess you had that up your sleeve.
Yeah, because I being in the first place, I think I had like a 4 or 5 second gap to P2 before the pit stop, and yeah, the strategy was quite easy. It was not to pit early, and knowing when he pits, pit one lap later, because with 4 or 5 seconds I knew I couldn't get overtaken with an undercut. So yeah, after that I think maybe he didn't hit the pit limiter or something like that, because he was stuck on pit like for 40 seconds or something like that. And yeah, after that was managing tires. I wanted to do the fast lap on the final lap. I think Benjamin also, with 5 or 10 laps to go, did a fast lap. And I was like, okay, I'm going to stick to my plan, do it on the last lap, knowing that they could not take it away from me.
You did, but Tyler also had a lot of damage and ended up stealing that one on the second last lap. You took it away then from the last lap. Benjamin got there. I think he got the next quickest lap, or close there. But yeah, you were saying him. Were you referring to Benjamin that finished in P2? Or you want to also remember that Khan, Vietnamese driver that lives in Switzerland now, he ended up taking the lead of that race until he had a little bit of a tangle himself and lost his front wing. So he obviously hadn't made a. Oh, I know he hadn't made a pit stop, but he was running on a completely strategy, I believe. He would have had to do some overtaking of him, but he, unfortunately, was his own worst enemy.
I think I was. I haven't overtook anyone, because
he didn't because he crashed himself.
Oh,
he got you when you took your pit lane, and he stayed out, and then accidentally hit the front wing. He's in the chat right now saying, "GG, guys." But yeah, that was the case on that one. I don't think if you remember, because you probably provisionally been back in the lead of the race anyway once you took your pit stop. But it would have been interesting to see on that one.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say that Benjamin tried to spook me on qualifying or before qualifying, I think it was. So I don't know if if that's fair play or not. Nah, just a joke, because he faced his car in front of mine and was saying on the driver's briefing on YouTube, go to the car. And when I load my car, his helmet was in front of my view, and I also the only thing I could see was his helmet, and it was kind of spooky. So yeah, I think he tried mental games there.
I just wanted to make a late April Fool's joke, just spin my car and just face towards you. I don't know.
That was a good one, yeah.
Well, that's excellent, because you two now will be in the championship lead hunt there. You'll increase your gap a little bit there, Alex. Congratulations on your first win, as you said here, after round 4. And anyway, well, over to Benjamin. Speaking of the man himself, Mr. April Fools. Well, Benjamin, now you second in the championship. What a great drive. Qualifying let you down a little bit from P6 up to P2.
P8 to P2. Yeah, to be honest, I did not feel quick on this track or with my setup. You can see by my 8th position on qualifying, and I got back to P2, but I don't think it was because of my speed or how fast it was. I made one on-track overtake, and the rest of them were freebies. So yeah, I got second, and I just drove consistent and did not lose it. That's pretty much my race.
Another lonely race. 42 seconds and change, I think, down the road, wasn't it? There to Alex on that. No, it's 10 seconds or so.
10 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, good. Definitely coming back. Definitely bringing it to Alex. You got to keep. Don't let Alex run away in that championship, and it doesn't look like you are.
I'll try not to.
It's very unfortunate there for Juan and Liam. Liam wasn't here. Juan not finishing any points today, so that's a benefit for you, of course, and not a unfortunate result for him. But hey, you got to seize the moment and the opportunity when it has arisen, and you did, gaining a lot of those places. So yeah, congratulations, mates. Gone from a race win at home to a P2 here in Hungary. I'll take that one for sure.
Thank you.
So Ed, any questions there for Benjamin before we move on to that third place? Gladiator?
I think we should be moving to the third place, because I think this is the first podium for Hannes. So,
yeah.
Mate, how do you feel about it?
You're muted, Hannes. If you want to unmute, yeah, you're on the. There we go.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Yeah, first podium this season. I had one last season, just one, and it was also at the Hungaroring. So I don't know. I don't really like the track, but it seems to be one of my faster ones.
So you are racing for flat out racing, and you've had a flat out race all the way. You've had a battle to the end of the race with Enrique Justa. He was on your tail. Was there any moment that you thought that he was going to overtake you?
Yes, absolutely. He was closing in really good. My tires were pretty bad towards the end of the race, and every time on the straight I thought, now with DRS he's gonna get me. But I was able to get into the attack mode on the straight and keep him behind me for like 2 laps. And then I think he spun at the chicane. But yeah, he had the pace to catch me and get P3.
It would have been an absolutely, absolutely cracker, wasn't it? Ed and I were like, I was like, Ed, go get the popcorn. This is going to be great. It's going to really come down to the wire. But it was unfortunate though. I mean, he's in Enrique's tires, mate, were a lot older than yours. So I know you still had boxed pretty early, I think on lap 12 or whatever for those tires, but he boxed on lap 5 or whatever for those tires. So yeah, you had probably a little bit of a tire advantage on him. Mistaken?
Yeah, I thought I pitted early, but that is really early. I didn't know that his tires were that old. But yeah, I had to really take it careful, like the last 2 corners especially. And yeah, P3, I'm happy with P3 in the end.
Good job. And you were driving under the Austrian flag, is that correct?
Yep. I'm from Austria.
Excellent. Are you going to the Spielberg track this season?
I'm too late for the tickets.
Oh.
I checked on them like last week, but they are all gone for this year. I went there last year, it was really cool, but I'm too late for this year.
Yeah, everything's selling out really quickly now. Thanks, Drive to Survive. Nobody can get tickets anymore. Anyway, it is what it is. Congratulations, another podium, mate. Good to see you back up there, and that's going to certainly help your championship out as well too, because you were just looking at the 6th place there. You'll get a little bit more points there as well, so you're climbing your way up. Good job there. So, do you play some Beethoven in the car? Beethoven's from Austria, right? So, as you're listening, some bit of classical.
You got that right, but I don't listen to Beethoven.
When driving.
It was Mozart who was from Austria.
Mozart. Well, anyway, Ed, any questions there for Hannes? How do you pronounce your first name? Sorry, I butcher it.
Yeah, it's Hannes.
Hannes. Okay, cool. I got it. Ed does it all right. I think that's it from me anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Ed, we'll let you wrap it all up.
Yep, thank you very much to everyone who has joined us. Thank you for everyone who has wrote in the chat. It's very important for us commentators and also for everyone involved to have a little bit of feedback from you guys. Also, if you want to be even more involved with our races, you can join our Discord, who is in the video description. You can also follow us on Instagram. We will post there more important information. And until next week, when we'll be racing again on Monday at the same time, take care guys and see you next time.